Guys, in the previous video we learned how to include the JavaScript and CSS file for WordPress frontend, and in this video we're going to learn how to include the JavaScript and CSS file for your plugin in the WordPress backend, which is WordPress dashboard. Okay, so there isn't much difference in including the JavaScript and CSS files, which is styles and scripts, into the front end as well as backend, except that the hook that we use to include these files will be WP admin scripts instead of WP enqueue scripts. Sorry, admin enqueue scripts for including the files into the backend dashboard, and for the front end is WP enqueue scripts. Okay, so I'm just going to copy paste the codes to save time. And let's just name this as just enqueue admin scripts. In this video, we're also going to learn how to include your JavaScript or CSS file onto a particular page, because you might not want to include your JavaScript or CSS file on all the pages, and if you do that, and if you do include your JavaScript and CSS file on all the pages, it might encounter some errors. So in this video, we're also going to learn how to go ahead and include your JavaScript and CSS file if you want to include only on a specific page. Cool. So right, so just enqueue admin script is the name of the function. So this is a custom function that we are defining. Okay, let's just put menu over here just to ensure that it doesn't clash with anything else. Okay, and we need to obviously use the same name of function over here. And we'll just put admin menu. You can choose any name you like. I'm just choosing mine, but it has to be unique, of course. Okay, I'm gonna use this. Cool. So now, so if you check over here, this is the custom function that I've defined, and again I'm checking over here. If the function doesn't exist, then go ahead and define this function. Again, I'm going to use the same functions, which is WP enqueue style to include my style sheet, and WP enqueue script to include my scripts for that. We also need to define the obviously create these files. So let's create these files into our admin folder. So let's say I want to include go ahead and create a JavaScript file, or let's start with CSS, called admin.css into the admin folder. Okay, and in fact, I think it will be better to create a new directory for CSS as well as JavaScript to avoid confusion. Okay, so let's create CSS, and let's create a directory for JavaScript as well, so JS. Okay, let's move this admin.css into CSS folder. Okay, and let's move the JavaScript. Let's create the JavaScript file inside of this folder. So I'll create that admin.js. Okay, so inside of an admin directory, we'll have all the files, CSS and JavaScript for our admin, which is backend. Okay, cool. Now, obviously these constants won't work because these constants give us path up until the normal JS and CSS folder, so we need to change the constants or probably define them as well. So let's do that. I'm just going to copy paste this to save time. The first one, let's name it admin menu admin.js URI. and this will name as admin CSS URI. So obviously this is going to give me the path up until the admin, up until my plugin directory. So after the plugin, if I want to get hold of my JavaScript file, say, what's happening? That's not opening. Okay, let's go over here. So this is my plugin, and this is my admin folder, and then inside of which we have the CSS and JavaScript file. So this path will be, yes, you've guessed it right, it will be admin, then the JS folder, and similarly this will be admin and then CSS folder. And all we're going to do is just change the path over here. Sorry, that's for the JS is this one, and similarly CSS constant is this one. You don't have to choose such long names, but for time being I'm just using these. You can go for small ones as well. Okay, so this will be admin.css, admin.js inside of these directories. So if we've got them included using this function basically, and I'm using the admin enqueue scripts. This is used to enqueue the styles and scripts in the backend dashboard, which is here. Now, how do we ensure that I want to include the style sheets and scripts on a particular page? So the first thing we need to do is basically do wp die, and then inside of which I'll just have to write a hook. So basically this custom function, when you do an add action, allows us to provide a parameter which is hook, and inside of hook we will get the name of the hook that's being used on that particular page. So if you do wp die hook, and if you go on any particular page, it's going to tell you which page you're currently on. So let's say that I want to apply the CSS on pages, all pages. So let's click on that, and sure enough you can see that it's edit.php is the name of the hook. So let's say I want to apply these styles and JavaScript file, and I want to include them only on the edit.php. So all I have to do is come over here and say that, you know what, the hook needs to be equal to edit.php, right? So it's saying that if the hook name is not edit.php, then just move out. Okay, if you want to try to see about the other pages as well, you can do that. So all you have to do is just uncomment this back again. Go to, let's say, media. Let's say what hook is that. So you can see upload.php. Similarly, if you want to go on to the other ones and see what, if you want to apply your JavaScript and CSS onto the posts, just go onto that page. Let's say categories. I want to go ahead and do it here. So just uncomment this, refresh the page, and sure enough it's edit tags.php. That's the name of the hook. Okay, great. So I don't need this. All I want to do is just apply my CSS on edit.php, which is basically, which page was that? Refresh. So I think that was pages. Yeah, edit.php. That was pages, right? Okay, so into these files I'm going to go ahead and say body. I'm going to say background blue, and if you save it, if you refresh the page, okay, let me see if these styles are being included or not. So let's say, so we'll check the page source, We'll look for the admin.css. Okay, it's here. Click on it. Background. Okay, that's being applied. Okay, refresh the page. Okay, you can see it's working. You can see it's applied over here. But if you go to any other page, let's say add new, not gonna work. Go to media, won't work. Posts, won't work. Sorry, post is also edit.php, so it's the same hook actually for post as well. Hence it will work here as well. Okay, so comments won't work. Okay, similarly for JavaScript as well, let's try that. I'm gonna do console.log into my admin.js, so I'll say applied, let's say applied, and I'm gonna go to pages, do an inspect element, console, you can see it's applied. If I go to media, no, it isn't there. Go to comments, no, it isn't there. Back to pages, it's there. Okay, so how's it happening? As we all know, as we've just discussed, that if you go ahead and do wp die and the name of the hook, it'll tell you which hook is being used for that particular page. Just go to that page and refresh the page, you'll get the hook, and then use a condition that if the hook is not equal to this, then return, then don't proceed, don't include anything, and if it is, then obviously proceed. Okay, so that's how it is included. So in the next video we're going to learn how to create the menu, admin menu, using your plugin, because your plugin might need to save some data in the backend and might need the user to enter some data over here, like in the settings page. So how to create a setting page by plugin is what we're going to learn in the next video. Alright, so take care. Bye bye.